Everyone is doing all right. Here I am again, the guy, sitting next to you in the coffee shop, just drinking something, nice hot cup of coffee. In this weather, perhaps a nice cold beer or something like that. Just having a chat. Okay. Today, let's talk about something a bit different. Let's talk about AI. All right. Going to try to make this as short as possible. Okay. This is just small talk, nothing really relevant. Going just to talk about historical precedents of the way we uh, look at technology and how we use it and stuff like that, but all within reason. All right. First of all, as always, we are treating and facing and using, looking at technology as wild apes. Sorry to say it, I include myself in the wild ape race. I am a human too, I think. So I'm also wild ape, but we are all basically wild apes that look at a piece of technology and then think about the most useless and absurd ways of using it. Okay. In my opinion, we do not need intelligent AI, not in the sense that people believe it to be. You don't need to have a meaningful conversation with the technology that you are creating. What we need is practical things. Okay, I don't need my toaster to discuss niche with me. Okay, all I need my toaster to do is to toast my bread exactly as I want it, and perhaps in the future to butter it up just like I like it, and make me a cup of coffee just like I like it, so that I can just easily sit down, have my breakfast, leave my dishes in the sink, and another machine will take care of it. Okay? This is the comfort lazy person desire. As for me, no. No. I like to toast my bread. I like to make my coffee. I like to drink my coffee. I like to wash my dishes. I like to do all of that. Why? Because it makes me human. Because it connects me to reality. And the issue here is that people, when they talk about AI, they seem to be very detached from reality. Okay, they seem to create a need to have these some types of things that are perfectly superfluous. Okay, so in your opinion, John, what do you need AI for? Easy, to do the hard work, to do the dangerous work, and to spare us from some of the menial things that we have constantly to do. We need AI in factories. We need AI in space exploration. We need AI in mining. We need AI in those places. Okay, and this will pose, of course, it's already happening. Okay, if you go to any modern car factory, whatever, any type of industry or manufacturer that produces machines or whatever, it's basically limited human staff controlling a mechanized system. Okay, those big arms that assemble the cars. Basically, if you go into, and I have gone to one, I have seen one from the inside. If you go to a modern car factory, what do you have? You have a control area, whatever, call it whatever you want, where one or two people, or perhaps more, control the way the production line is progresses. Okay, then you have some human people on the floor controlling the operations, making minor adjustments, quality checks, a series of things, making sure everything is done properly. Okay, and that is it. So you went from a system where you had literally hundreds of people in a production line to have about half a dozen, if that much. And is this bad? No. But the issue here is that the owner of the factory continues to earn obscene amounts of money on it, and they are using it to get even richer. And this is bad because this is how we reach the situation in which we are, where we have a lot of rich and petulant and greedy persons, oligarchs, controlling the AI process and turning it into a way of obtaining power via wealth. Just look at Tesla. It's an example, but there are many more. But just calling out an example because of all the issues Tesla and their president or whatever, the CEO, whatever the fuck he is having. Okay, they they want AI to replace the human factor, and they want to continue to make the same profit or even more profit. And they want the government to take care of the people that lose their jobs and to take care of all the businesses that are dependent on those people. Because just think about it. Think about a factory worker. Think about how important that little cog is in the entire economy. That man perhaps has a family. Okay, he has a house, or rents, or has a house. That man eats and drinks every day. That man purchases food. That man purchases water. That man consumes energy. That man, for example, goes to the coffee shop and has a drink. That man goes out for in the weekend with their family. That man owns a car. That man buys fuel for the car. And companies expect UBI, Universal Basic Income, to kick in their name to take care of people so that they can continue to profit. No. This is why, like I said in the beginning of the video, we are treating this like animated with like wild apes. Okay, we think it's very funny to ask something in a search engine or whatever, and an AI is going to answer you. They have AI girlfriends. They have a series of stupid things that remind me a bit of the ideas that people had in the last century about electricity and about nuclear power and about all of that. Okay, remember all of those applications of nuclear power, like the irradiated water to increase your sexual potency, a series of dumb shit, dishware and cookware that were made with radioactive isotopes so that it would glow in the dark. They are collected. They are collector items in the U.S. I think this is nuts. Okay, but you see, there is a pattern. But the issue here is no one seems to be paying attention. Okay, look, this is inevitable. Okay, AI machines are going to replace people in some key words. But we need to discipline this in order to not allow them to break down our societies, because this will break down our societies. For example, right now, I'm going to talk here in Portugal. You have thousands of people, 60% perhaps foreigners, working in seasonal works in farming. It won't take long, except for some specific areas where you will have a reduced human factor. It won't take long for you to have fully automated machines. And when I say won't take long, I'm not talking about 10, 20 years. No, I'm talking about 5 years or something, or even less perhaps. This is how this is, okay? You'll have automated machines doing that job. Then those people won't have a job. They won't have a living. So, in principle, immigration will decrease, but some will stay, some will go, who knows? But that is another question altogether that we should discuss in another video. But just to understand this, okay? Auto factory, automobile, automobile which, industry, same thing. A lot of things, like for example, transporting of goods and all of that, that is also going to change with the automation. You are not going to completely remove the human factor. The question here is you are going to reduce it. So, for example, imagine this: a fully automated lorry to transport merchandise, transport goods, truck, whatever. A truck that, for example, goes in. You have a machine to pick up your crops. You have a machine to clean the land, and you have a machine to transport it. And all you need is a hard-working farmer, maybe with one or two people to work with him or her, whatever. I know farmer girls. Okay. Then you need a driver that won't even need the aid of a second person because they will have mechanized systems to load and unload cargo. Do you see the pattern? But the issue here is how are you going to use AI? Now, AI in art. Some people say that by inputting patterns and whatever in AI and you produce beautiful works of art. Okay. I question what is art? What is the value of art? Imagine comparing the Sistine Chapel painted painstakingly by one man and a couple of assistants with all the imperfections, with all the imperfections. Okay, like the Arabs say, you always put a little imperfection in perfection so that God will not curse the work. Okay, but imagine comparing that to something that is perfect. And I'm not questioning this. I'm not saying AI makes a very beautiful work. Now you have AI videos with AI speaking or reading, and you remove all of that. And I question the usefulness of that. It only helps one type of people, lazy people. And if we become lazy, if our little brains become lazy and with a lack of stimulus, we are not going to evolve. Because in the future, and will also be inevitable, you will have a person that will have uh, components, synthetic components. Okay, you won't need a heart transplant. You will have a heart made for you. You will have a new hands. Okay, you perhaps even aging will be deterred by the use of the same type of systems. Okay, you will have a lot of things, and that is all in good. There's absolutely no issue in this. It's the same thing as a person breaking the hip and going to the hospital and having a hip replacement. I know some religious purists and other type of people might consider this a sin, but it's not. Okay? Technology is not our enemy, it's our friend. But it's a friend that we need to deal with. because, as we know, any one of us that has any friends will know that some friends are nice people, some friends have are bastards, but you like them anyway because they're your friends. You have known them forever. No, a lot of things. But the issue here is how we use this technology. The issue here is not how this technology exists. This technology will always exist now. It's here. It's the you let the genie out of the bottle. It's not going to go back. And that if you go back to every pattern of human existence, only a large scale cataclysm or something like that, or disturbance has caused technology to regress. For example, in Europe, even the end of the Roman Empire and the start of the so-called Dark Ages is now questioned because there was not there was a going back in a lot of things, but were a lot of evolutions that then created the modern European society that forged it. So it was an evolution. We just need to step back and see the patterns, right? Hmm? Now, let's continue. We need AI to do these jobs, but we also, at the same time we are doing this, we need to adapt our economies for this. So, if Mr. Car Maker wants to make cars, then he has one choice. He can reduce the price. Oh, but we spend a lot in our machines. Okay, we spend a lot in energy and this and that. No, machines are not people. Machines are not. Machines do not pay taxes to the health insurance. Machines do not pay taxes to the state. You, from your profit, you pay taxes. So you have to pay more, and you want to automatize your entire production system, please. You are going to pay for it. This is a key issue because you are going to need that in order to create other jobs for people to have. For example, imagine this: when the process of electrifying uh, the illumination of cities came, a lot of jobs ended. For example, even before gas, the guy that went around lighting all the all the lamps in the city, that guy lost his job. He couldn't. There was no usefulness for him. So that person had to go and do something else. And the same will happen here in a lot of aspects. But to use AI, like I am also seeing it here, to, for example, automatize state responses, instead of interacting with a public officer, you are interacting with a machine. That is extremely dangerous. You can have a machine, for example, to give you the options of the service. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, nothing wrong if the technology can recognize the words. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But you have to have a person behind it controlling it, or else you are going to have some very serious situations. And I'm not being a fearmonger. I'm not doing absolutely nothing like that. But you have to understand this. But we will need to sync all. I will make more videos about this. Okay. But we need to know how we are going to use this, and we cannot let these rich companies that only want one thing: profit. To, for example, I have heard a lot of Americans complaining about what Amazon is doing in their shops. They are literally eliminating hundreds of jobs. And all of those jobs, all of those people are now on the back of the state. And meanwhile, instead of paying more taxes for that, the company is earning billions and accumulating wealth. And if you have a system with few fail safes, like for example the American system, the UK, for example, has the same issue. Lobbies, okay, contributing to campaigns, basically paying off politicians. If you have a system like that, you will have a very dangerous system because they will be able to dictate what laws the state will apply. You need strong fail-safes to avoid that system. And as we all know of human nature, fail-safes, even fail-safes, fail. So we need, from the get-go, to tackle this harshly. And I mean really harshly. I mean this. That company, for example, it used to have 100 employees. Now it has mechanized and reduced the staff to only have 10 employees. You are going to have to tax that company more. Oh, then they cannot compete with this company and that company. No, business. You will tax the other ones too. Oh, but these are imports. Imports, you restrain imports. You have to take hard decisions. You have to take hard decisions. You want to know, and then we talk about this. Then, for example, why then keep this AI thing? Why not just completely get rid of it? Because, like I said, number one, the genie is out of the bottle. You won't be able, you will not be able to ditch this. It's there. It's there. It's growing. It exists. It's a technology. It's being integrated into society. Now we, the wild apes, need to learn how to work with it. Hmm? For example, imagine this. You want to send a spaceship to explore outer space. Right now, we have the technical ability to create a nuclear powered spaceship. That will be slower, of course, but it can be powered by an AI that will record and do whatever we program it to, for example, explore space. And if it's a machine, if it's got lost, it gets lost. Okay, but it will be slower. Yes, it will. But this is the nature of life. Okay, no man can expect to see the complete fruition of his entire life work. No one, unless we find a way to extend human life. That may pass, for example, for whenever our biological bodies start to fail, to get ourselves mechanical bodies or mechanical areas where we can put our brains. This might seem a bit grotesque in sci-fi, but it's an absolute. I will not even say hypothesis. I say this will happen. Maybe in 100 years time, people will maybe see this video if it's not taken down, and they will talk about this. Like this guy somewhere in the internet in the past was talking about it. Okay, and this is one of the uses we can do for AI. Okay, we can also use AI to explore the bottom of the sea. We still don't know about 80% of it. We can use AI to uh, do dangerous things in replacing humans. Why not? We can use AI as learning tools, but true learning tools. For example, imagine you imagine this. Right now, In our phones, we already can have an entire library. Imagine this. Imagine an holograph of a person or even a physical AI. And it's like, for example, a portable library. You load it up, you teach it books, and then, for example, you're doing your work and you say, "Hey, look me up in that nature catalog. Look me up this page here and there, and see what they say about the lions." Or do you understand? You can use it for that. Or damn, I forgot about my recipe of this or that. Do you remember that recipe I gave you? And be able to interact in this informal, pardon me, in this informal way. And that AI will give you that. Okay? But you don't want it to be intelligent. You don't want that. And you don't need it. And I will tell you this, and that is very far from happening. Even if some people say, oh no, you're wrong, and they're doing this and they're doing that, I say, stop, stop being a wild ape. Okay, we need to use these things for what we need them. And we can use AI, look, just like nuclear power. Okay, nuclear power can give us not free electricity because now we know the consequences of using it. We know what happens to the used fuel. We know what happens to the dangers of nuclear power. But whatever it is, it can give us power, electricity, heat, okay, cold. We can use a nuclear power. We can use it, or we can construct bombs and kill ourselves and the planet off. AI, the same thing, the absolute same thing. You can create killing powered AI machines that are already being created. We know there are already drones powered with AI, programmed to kill. We already have that. It won't be long before we have virtual soldiers, for example, powered by AI, performing missions without any remorses, without any hesitations, without any self-preservation system. Okay, if they die, they die. If they will just be repaired and turned on again. And this is extremely dangerous, but it will happen. But the issue here is, again, I go back to the very beginning of the video, is that we continue to act like animated wild apes. The apes that see something shiny and then look, I have a shiny thing, I'm better than you. And whatever turn we do with this idea, turning it in the meaning, what do I mean? This is a very Portuguese expression. However, you create and evolve this idea in your mind, we go back to the same thing. We go back to the issue that we need to control this and use it for the what we need it really. And we do not need, again, I don't need an AI to control my search engine. I don't need an AI to talk with me. I don't need an AI to do any of the stupid things it's doing now. I need an AI that is a silent slave. Look, mechanization, all this that we have been doing is to go back to that old Roman idea of autumn, okay, leisure time. When, for example, the Greeks said there were many types of machines. There were the animal machines, there were the mechanical machines, and there were the human machines, the human beasts. The human beasts were the slaves. And this is an opportunity for us as humans to stop having this need of needing slaves and of having an incredible prosper times. Okay? And people say, oh, but they are draining power and this and that. We have an almost, at least in our time frame, as a a species that exists in the earth, we have a source of energy free of charge, the sun. Right now, as we speak, we could have cars powered by the sun, even in weathers where it rains and there are less hours of sun. We don't need complicated energy technologies. We need simple solutions. But we are not getting those simple solutions for the same reason why companies are continuing to profit high with AI while draining the state of resources. It's the same reason because we have this system of the economically viable, meaning whatever it is, we need to make a profit of it, and it needs to pay off for us to use it. And as long as we continue with this idea, the wild ape mania, we will not progress. We will not solve things like climate change. We will not solve things like the degradation of societies and the degradation of the environment itself. We will not solve it. No, we will not solve it. We will not solve any of these problems. Think about this. The the type of engines that we are using now, explosion engines, no, it's basically a chamber. You pump in a fuel and the air, it burns and it creates energy. Okay, now we are replacing it for things like battery cars and other stuff like that, and we are not using the simpler solutions. And people say, oh, but there is no, the technology only is not used because imagine, look, just imagine this. Imagine, my friend, that you could have a car. I'm not saying a pretty car. I'm not saying a fast car. I'm not even saying a very appealing car. But a transportation method, car, that you could simply get on it and go wherever you need to go. Go and pick up your shops. Sorry. Go into a shop and pick up your groceries, or go into town to have a coffee, or go to work, or go do whatever you want. And that car, you would pay it. Some a company would produce it. You would pay for that car, and then that car would be virtually without the need of having any further refueling or repairs. A car that would charge itself from the sun or whatever source of energy you would find. A car that sometimes would need mild repairs. You would take it to a shop. Imagine that. We could have that. We could have efficient houses. We could have comfortable houses. If, but no, what we continue to want to have, for example, if you have a normal house that is absolutely sufficient, you will want a bigger house. If you have this or that, you will want the bigger this. Okay, you have a nice cell phone today. The new model comes up and you want that one. It's essentially the greed of the wild ape. And then people tell me things like this. Oh, but if we did not have this, we would not evolve. And but no, absolutely wrong. We don't need profit to evolve. What we do need is to be pragmatic, to be logic. As long as we live in this emotional way, we are not going to evolve. And we are not going to evolve AI. We are not going to evolve social politics. We are not going to evolve absolutely nothing. Okay, just look at uh, this mad. I don't know quite how to tell you this, but just look at the way we are facing divergent sexual identities in our society. People transitioning to the other gender. Okay, people wanting to be with the same gender. No, homosexual people, gay people. Okay, transgender people. Let's say things like they are. Have you seen the circus that is doing with something that is so simple? People people that are gay. Okay, who cares? It's their business. It's not yours. Oh, they are breaking down traditional society and whatever. Who the fuck said traditional society was so good after all? Me, I'm lucky. Wonderful parents. Mom's still here with me. Wonderful parents. But I knew of people that had shitty parents. People that should never have been even a parent. What do I care if Joe sleeps with Joe and Mary sleeps with Mary? What do I care about it? What do you care about it? Why do you lose so much time with it? And as for transgender people, man, that is a medical issue. I'm proud of my country because at least here it's treated just like that. They solved the they solved all the. Of course, you still have the odd politician with dumb idea, with the dumb speech, with that shitty politicization of personal issues. But here, no, a person that has that issue. And remember, this is not negative. When I say divergent or whatever, I'm just this just means different because, of course, the normal idea of sex is true sex, true biological sex. Okay, man and woman. This is the norm. And then you have the others, and the others are people too, and the others also need to have a response from society. And like I was saying, around here, it's a medical issue. The person goes to the local health center. The person talks with the doctor. They go through. I saw the process once. They talked here about it. They go through psychological assessment, a series of things, and if the person is if it's really that, if it's not something else, some other divergency, again, not negative, again, and another divergency, then people take care of it. And why should I, a straight white guy, care about that? Why? They are going to turn me gay? They are going to magically make me love men? Are you fucking nuts? Are you crazy? Do you understand the stupidity of this speech? And we are applying that same type of ideas on our technology. We are doing it to AI. Now they have things in the phone, and they ask questions and they answer them, and they don't have to look for it. Lazy people answers. Unless I am a police officer that needs, please tell me where the nearest fire station is. Unless I need that, why would I need that? Or like I told, I think I said this in another video. For example, I want to go to a city that I don't know, and I use an AI tool to guide me to the place where I want to go. What is wrong with that? Nothing. It's a tool. In that sense, but to start using it like a toy. Oh, I wonder who was the king of England during the late 17th century. Oh, how nice! Instant satisfaction. Instead of getting your ass out of the out of the couch, or at least open a bloody book, or at least enter in a site and see the list of the kings and queens of England. Not look, for example, I would only do that if I was writing a paper or something like that, and I had forgotten the name of the bloody king, and I would input it and see, this is the guy. Okay, thank you. Lazy people. People are using technology, they're using AI like animated, wild, dumb apes. We are all acting like effing apes. Sorry for the swearing, but still not 100% recovered. Okay, but like I was saying, the key thing that I want you to, I don't know, remove from this video is this: AI is not dangerous. It's not. It's a tool. Issue here is, how are we going to use that tool? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to use it to create more shit to fill up our lives? More shit that is sold by someone that wants to make a profit out of it, to that wants to not have to pay a human person to work for him, and wants to produce more at lesser cost and not pay taxes over it. We need to increase the taxes on these people. And they will say, oh, then we will not produce. And we will say, well, then you will not produce. You don't believe me this. When I hear this story, oh, the millionaires, they are going to leave. Uh, Fuck them. Get the fuck out. Simple, bloody simple as this. You want to be here, pay your fair share. And and look, and I know I'm going to get, sometimes I get this. I'm not a bloody leftist. No, I'm not. Because the extremes, you know what they do? They connect in the back, they F you. They are the same. Right wing, left wing, communist, socialist, capitalist, all the same idiots. All the same idea, the same key idea: control. And I don't like control. I like to think. I like to try to make my society a better place to live in, as we all should. And to face things, and not run away from them. And if we run away from, if we hide in our little cubicles with our AI toys, that AI toy is going to become just another useless, pointless piece of shit in your life, crowding up your time. Instead of being something, for example, like I told you, the toaster, you know, get up in the morning before I go and take my shower, uh, turn on the toaster and say, look, uh, make me four toasts the way I want it, and my coffee if I'm in the hurry. And for example, during the week while I'm working, why not? During the weekend, arrive, toast my bread, make my coffee, sit around and drink. Okay? But I'm not being lazy with it. Do you understand the difference? Imagine you are in a hurry and you need those things, and you need that piece of machine, that piece of technology to do it for you. But I don't assume that it's always there and that I should always use it and that it should become an integral part of my routine, because lazy mind, lazy mind, lazy people, stupid people. Look, I sometimes Look at my youngest nephew and think of all the things that I had that he didn't have. And this is Portugal where he could and he went to play outside and all of that, but kids, their lives were what? Gaming consoles, you know, the odd going out, something like this. When I was 9 years old, I spent my free time in the woods, exploring, going around, and I also lived. God, sorry, a bit tired. I'm going to end this video soon. Uh, and I also loved computer games. I have always loved computer games. To this day, I'm still a gamer. No, I love it. I create them. I play them. I love them. Okay, it's a very interesting mental activity to do. Okay, and it's very good for you too. If you don't know this, some people say it's bad for you, but no, it's not bad for you. Okay, if you use it properly, it's good for you. It relaxes you after a long day of work. It helps you to remove bad energy from your mind. Okay, it's an aid. But when I was a kid, man, I could do all of that. I could go and swim in the river, swim in the in the canal. Okay, walk around, play football with my friends. Sorry, I refuse to use the American term soccer. That does not exist in the rest of the world. Okay? I used to, I wasn't a great athlete, but I love just hanging around with my friends and getting into trouble too, of all of that. But that created that creates a skin, a thick skin, okay? And these kids, they lack that skin, okay? And I know, for example, how to live off the land. Most of the people that I know, they don't. If there's an issue, if there's a catastrophe, all of these people are dead. You know, what are they going to do? Do the same thing they do every bloody disaster? Stock up on toilet paper? Do you know what happens to people? Just a quick intermezzo before I end the video. You know what happens to those survivalist type of people, and those hoarders that hoard the supplies and all of that. Oh, I'm going to survive the apocalypse and this and that. You know what happens to them? People like me hunt them down and take their resources. This is the simple truth. The stronger those people seem to be, the weaker they are. A clear headed person, you can't beat that. Whatever resources you have. Like, uh, like I always say, blades don't need bullets. I prefer blades, okay? And they are nice and quiet. Now, uh, let's just end this, okay? I'm sorry for my rants, but this is a kind of a staple of mine. I sometimes rant a lot. Going to have to start and make some videos a bit more specific, to tackle some specific issues, maybe with some media. I'm doing this. It's just basically me and the camera, but let's see how it goes. Now, what I want you to take from this is this: AI is not your enemy, but it's also not your friend. So it's something that we are going to need to learn how to deal with it, and at the same time, we are going to have that social courage, that political courage of taxing the ones that are profiting the most of AI. We are going to need it. We are going to need to do it. Just look at the US. Look at what is happening there. Okay? Look at the obscene amount of wealth those people are accumulating. and imagine that all over the world. And you know there are, and look, and it's not just the USA, right? I'm just using it as an example, but just look at that, translate it to the entire world, and that might be our future. And in my book, that is not good. Thank you for listening to my rant, and bye. See you next one.